All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the information that's contained on a seed packet. And before you start your seeds, there's some, you need to look up how long it's going to take to germinate, and when you're going to plant it, and best practices for sowing them. It'll tell you seed depth and that kind of thing. So if you see, it tells you 50 to 60 days. Now, this isn't always clear if this is from transplanting or from sowing. Generally, with things that are transplanted, for the most part, this number is from the transplant date. For things like lettuce or carrots that are generally directly sowed, this number is usually from sowing. So you just kind of have to, you can look up that information if you're not sure. But with kale, this probably is 50 to 60 days from transplanting for full mature plants. Now on the back, you can see a lot of different information about seed depth. This is important. You don't want to plant seeds too deep or too shallow. So the general rule of thumb is to plant seeds about 2 seed size deep. So small seeds are going to be more shallow than large seeds. Seed spacing, this is if you're going to direct sow it. This is not necessarily for the transplant situation we've got going on. Your soil temperature, so this is basically room temperature. That tells you you don't need a heating mat. And then days to germination, this tells you how long you should expect to wait for a seed to come up. A lot of seeds come up pretty quickly. However, some seeds are quite slow, like peppers take a long time to germinate, and so you just want to give them good conditions for germination and just be patient. Usually you see this range of 55 to 75 degrees for soil germination, soil temp germination, and that usually impacts the days to germination. So the warmer temps give you quicker germination, and the cooler temps give you slower germination. So if you do want to speed things up, you can use a heating mat. And then thin plants, this is your final spacing that the plants want to be. So they want to be 12 to 24 inches apart. So they don't want to be too close together. So, and this also, sowing indoors, start seeds 4 to 6 weeks before your last frost. So that's about, if our last frost is mid to late April, then mid to late February is a good time to start your spring crops. So this is, and it also gives you information about when you can transplant, when the size of the plant is 6 to 8 true leaves, and then when nighttime temperatures are consistently above 30 degrees. So that just gives you, most seed packets give you a lot of good information about the plant. So that's what you want to pay attention to, and make note of these sowing dates and harvest dates in your records, so you know about when to start your seeds, when to put them out, and when you can expect to harvest your first crop.